All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the American Dota League. We have another game tonight here for you. Team Liquid versus Pain Gaming. Liquid, they've got 3 games in a row. This is their second one on the way to, of course, another good win for them. Of course, they just had one over Team Dignitas. We'll see if they can get another one here in just a moment against Pain Gaming in Brazil. But after this, they do have Team Liquid versus Smeagol, so that's going to be a great game to look forward to. But yeah, thanks for joining us here on the American Dota League. My name is Mont. With me tonight is NY John. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good and excited to see how this matchup is going to go. Team Liquid coming off such a great performance up against Pain Gaming now, and Pain Gaming, a team that have experienced a couple of reworks here. They're also playing with a stand-in or 2 in the roster today. So see if they can find some kind of groove, some kind of rhythm. Pride has been synonymous with Pain in the Brazilian team for quite some time now. He's just trying to find a core of players that work well with him. We know he is a good player himself, and hopefully they can do that and maybe get some interesting plays going against Liquid. And the first pick is Nature's Prophet. You called that before the game even started.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it. I said Mino really likes to play that Nature's Prophet, and I was pretty confident in that pickup there. And they go ahead and they do that. So not a big surprise there. They love to split push. They love to be pretty much all over the map, creating trees. Just making it a hassle for their opponents, kind of, pushing into their base essentially as much as possible. We'll see how that works out for them. Team Liquid, I mean, we talked about that dominant performance. It took them 9 minutes. 9 minutes to beat Team Dignitas. And that's one of the best teams, at least in America, if not the world. And you can blame it on, I guess, packet loss for Ali 2000, who was having a rough time in that game, and as well as the D2L game against Virtus Pro. But it really was just complete and utter destruction over Team Dignitas from Team Liquid. And they won all 3 lanes, and we'll see if they can do it here up against Pain Gaming. They're going to go with the Darkseer and maybe Jakiro, perhaps. We'll see. I mean, why not go for the Jakiro again? It worked really well for you in the last game. So, yeah, there it is. And I mean, that is the combo right now. That is it.
Everyone is stealing this from Dignitas. It was like their secret strategy for a couple of weeks, and I was just commentating before. I believe it was Fnatic EU did this 1-2 opening. Dignitas has been doing it for weeks now, and Liquid are taking it now. Everyone just jacking their swag a little bit, but it is a phenomenal combo. You really don't need anything else to build upon it. It's just a great 5 versus 5 team fight mechanics you have going with those 2 heroes. Response is going to be the Keeper of the Light from Pain Gaming, which is an interesting choice. Of course, he can delay the push. He gives you a pretty solid safe lane, tri-lane, if you want to operate that. Can also give you some interesting possibilities in aggressive tri-lane if you put him with something like a Naga Siren with the net coming out. But it's a little bit too early to start any of that. We're seeing the second ban phase come out, and Phantom Lancer, a hero that a lot of the North American prominent teams ban against the South American teams just because they don't want to deal with it. And since the Keeper Light's already been picked here, Phantom Lancer is a possibility, probably not the most likely of hero choices, but either way, just take him out of the pool. Why worry about it?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what they need to do. I mean, Phantom Lancer, even if there wasn't that possibility that they would pick him up, you still want to ban him anyways, because just that, going back to almost like a year ago now, and not even, Keeper of the Light and Phantom Lancer are just synonymous with one another and just being annoying. But if you look at the lineup for Pain Gaming right now, I mean, if we're talking about annoying heroes, I think these 2 heroes are probably the most annoying or difficult to play up against, just because of how much they can just push you back, split push you, and just try to stall you as long as possible, I suppose. Team Liquid is going to try to forego that and just go for, I mean, I guess get a good lane going with their tri-lane. They've got that Jakiro, they have the Darkseer with that wall for the replica when they can get that available. So we're going to see what in fact does happen here. They're going to go ahead and ban out the Lifestealer, and it's interesting to see Pain banned out IX Mike's Win Rate Protector and of course the Clockwork for Bulba. So they're not going to be available in this game for them. However, I don't think that Liquid's too concerned about that. The Shadow Demon ban coming out as well as the Nakes ban. And one more ban to go, and we'll see what they want to pick up here. With the Keeper of the Light and the Nature's Prophet, Pain can go for another support or a carry. It's the similar kind of system for Team Liquid as well. If they want to go down that route, they can pick up a mid as well. But I think more often than not nowadays, you see the mid hero being picked last. It's kind of that interesting sort of, I guess, little trump card they've got in their back pocket to see what really, who picks what. So, but that's just what I've seen in the past few days. You might have seen differently. But they're going to go and ban out the Naga Siren. So Team Liquid, they're going to have to pick as well. And we'll see what they want to do. It's going to be an Anti-Mage.
So, Anti-Mage, we've talked about this in the past. He's just a really solid carry hero, of course. We've seen TC and Korok really excel on this hero in the past. And you could just fall back on this hero. I was talking to you privately before about the Kai Pei game I saw earlier. And, Anti-Mage it's a carry that Eternal Envy loves because first off, he's tough to kill. Second off, you could throw him in a solo lane, and he can manage against a lot of his opponents. If he somehow got into a solo lane this game versus Nature's Prophet, he'd be absolutely okay. I don't think that's what's going to happen because that would be pretty lopsided for the anti-mage. But just saying, he has that versatility to him as a carry, and then once you hit those two items, the Battle Fury plus the Manta, all of a sudden he is legit in terms of his damage output and the devastation he could do in a battle, instantly taking down one target and then moving on to take down the weaker targets thereafter. So you do like to see him from time to time. He isn't as favorable as he used to be, picked up in every single game. Pain are going to look for a response here. They already have to keep it light. I would probably try and opt for one of the lockdown heroes here. I think Bane before he gets nabbed away, because it certainly is a possibility, just to make sure you have the Fiend's Grip to try and deal with Anti-Mage a little bit. Lockdown is so important against a hero like AM. If you can keep him in place and pile on some damage, then he becomes, of course, less of a threat and more realistic target to take down in the middle of these team fights.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you do have to get that lockdown going, especially against the anti-range. They're going to go for the Windrunner. And this is difficult, but actually a smart pickup, I think. You have that Nature's Prophet, you get a Sprout going, and then a Shackle Shot, and that's an instant latch. So I think that's a very smart pickup here. But Team Liquid going with the Vengeful Spirit, which we talked about a lot in the last game during the drafting phase, and how it's a good counter pickup to the Clockwork, but immediately an Alchemist pickup coming out from Pain Gaming. So the draft escalating to a critical mass here, and automatically just seeing two pickups very quickly.
Yeah, I was thinking that Alchemist may have been an idea for Liquid again in this game. Especially since it seemed like last game Quark was trying it out for the first time we've seen on the competitive scene, at least from Liquid. So I think this is kind of like Pain getting it before Liquid had an opportunity to get to that, because that solo middle Alchemist would be good against most things in the pool. Liquid, instead of probably have to look for more traditional mid, they can go for a DK if they want to. I like DK plus Anti-Mage because DK with his big base strength and the armor he gets from the Dragon's Blood makes him a really tanky option. So to focus him and Anti-Mage in the middle of team fights is going to be very problematic for Pain Gaming, especially with the team they're going on right now. They don't have that much damage output early on in the game from Alchemist nor Windrunner. So I think a hero like DK would be one of the more optimal solutions for them. They could even go for a Juggernaut if they really wanted to, but one of those solo middles, probably one of the melee targets that can just absorb some damage from here on out. But the Venge is good because the minus armor, of course, works with the Anti-Mage. We talked about Swap still being one of the best abilities. It's always been strong, but it definitely fell under the radar for quite some time. Well, Venge fell up because of the short range. I think that really held her back. Yeah. But Swap is so good saving your carries.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Swap's probably one of the most underrated abilities in the game, especially ultimate abilities. And you mentioned how that short range is the problem. It does level up. The range does scale up with levels, but you need to get to level 11. And for support, especially in a tri-lane, that's not always easy. So that's really the problem with the Vengeful Spirit, I think, early on. But once you hit that level 11, if you're hitting your stride, you certainly can, do aggressive swaps as well, which you don't see as often. A lot of the time you see defensive swaps, but Vengeful Spirit, I think, is kind of one of those wildcard pickups here, and especially for Team Liquid, who don't really necessarily run this hero a lot. They're going to go for a Queen of Pain, and that's relatively, I think, common for them. I think Korok plays that the most, or TC can probably play just as good a Queen of Pain as well on top of that. And I remember talking with you about who plays what on Team Liquid, so Queen of Pain, a solid pickup for them, especially as their mid hero, and I talked about it before, how the mid is usually safe for last, and I guess this game is no exception.
Yeah, Queen of Pain becomes one of the best mid options since Puck is already out of the pool, Battle Rider's out of the pool. It's a solid choice. I don't think it's a big risk, but Queen of Pain, of course, with that burst damage towards the early stages of the game into the middle stages of the game, can definitely set a good tone for your team if she's able to get going and be impactful at that stage. So Pain are going to be a little bit hard-pressed to find an appropriate Mons as a mid laner that can contest Queen of Pain in terms of farm, as well as rune control and whatnot. OD can definitely be that fit in, but I'm not sure if we've seen Pain Brazil do that. That's a Pain-int move.
Yeah, it would be. It would be a Pain-int move, but people need to start getting on that OD train and start riding it, because that train, that's not slowing down. That OD train's going to run right through TI3.
Yeah, my only concern is that the OD in this game, I like OD in games where you're against something like a Treant Protector because he doesn't roam well, but Vengeful Spirit and Jakiro are going to roam really well, and that mid lane could turn into a bloodbath early on if they decide to get that movement going. And you'd imagine whatever anti-mage is matched up with, I already talked about this before, he's going to have a favorable time one-on-one or one versus none if that is the case. So I do think OD is the best laning option, but as a grand scheme, I think Juggernaut's probably a little bit safer pick.
Yeah, that's interesting. It looks like they will send that Jug mid, I think, probably. I'm not 100% sure what they want to do with it, but in terms of just their lineup right now, that Juggernaut does give them that semi-carry that can help them through the middle stage of the game, while Pride does get his farm up on that Alchemist. And Windrunner will be able to provide some nice damage as well. We talked about, of course, the Shadow Shot coming into play, of course, with the Nature's Prophet on top of that. TC's going to be going ahead and playing that Queen of Pain. That's who was the Queen of Pain player for Liquid. That I answered my own question there, which does mean that Korok's going to be the farmer up in the Anti-Mage while we wait for him and Fluff to pick up those two heroes. Once again, thank you for joining us on the American Dota League. Make sure you pick up a ticket in-game. It is $5. Check us out at AmericanDotaLeague.com as well. We have a lot more games for you tonight. On top of this one, we've got Team Liquid versus Smeagol shortly after, and then a couple more games after that. So we do have some time here, and I want to thank everybody for joining us. Once again, I am Mott. With me is going to be NY John, and we're going to jump right into the game, and we'll get some introductions going here. So, on the side of Team Liquid, we've got Bulba. He'll be on that Darkseer. IX Mike going to be on the Chikiro again. TC on the Queen of Pain. Korok will be on the Anti-Mage to round it out. Fluff and stuff on the Vengeful Spirit. Meanwhile, down in that bottom lane, and on the Radiant side, Pain. Pride's going to be playing the Alchemist. In the mid lane, we're going to see Keeper of the Light played by the stand Make It Wit. Is that, I'm reading that correctly, I believe. Is that, yep, that's right. Okay, good. Fuzzy will be playing the Juggernaut. Looks like we'll see Mino on the Windrunner, and to finish it all off, Ned, a.k.a. Lord Eddard Stark, Warden of the North, will be playing the Nature's Prophet. Ned, probably one of the most popular Pain players. Just because he's Ned, I guess. But it is going to be try versus try, it looks like, at least for the time being. You see Fluff down here with, of course, Mike. And they're going to have Bulba here as well. And looks like they're going to throw Bulba in this tri lane. And Darkseer in the tri lane has been, I think, utilized a lot. I saw it first with EG, and they did it pretty effectively. I'm not sure where. I think it was Raid Call EMS1 American group stages. But it's certainly a good option. It allows for Korok to, of course, get a solo safe lane Anti-Mage up against the Nature's Prophet, which is a very favorable matchup. And they will actually spot out Fluff and IX Mike here, or not. Pride walked right next to them. I thought for sure he was going to get vision, but he doesn't. Meanwhile, pinging to be careful, of course, was Bulba saying, hey, they might be right there. And I don't know if they knew just how close they came to maybe getting spotted out there, but this is try versus try, and what do you think about it?
I think Alliance is the first team I ever saw do Darkseer tri-lane, and it's a cool tri-lane because, of course, Darkseer makes your heroes pretty safe with the Surge and also gives you good damage output with that Ion Shell. They do have two really good disables between the Magic Missile as well as the Ice Path, so I think they have a lot of potential if they can catch this Keeper of the Light from time to time, and they think this is a solo lane, so this is a good opportunity. Yeah,
they want to jump on Mino right now. You can see Fluff coming in. They're like, oh, we did not expect this. They immediately get the wind run out. Fluff maybe just jumping a little too early. You saw that. They were like, oh, surprise, guys, here we are. But immediately Make It was just like, all right, I'm going to do what I do best and just throw out a Illuminate and just annoy the heck out of Fluff and Bulba. But this tri-lane, immediately just they realize, oh, crap, this is going to be a little bit more difficult than we expected.
Yeah, it's going to be really difficult, honestly. Alchemist wants to get his farm. He hasn't skilled up, so that's good. He's going to have an opportunity to pick up the Concoction. Whereas if he had picked up the Grievel's Greed, he definitely could have put himself in a little bit of a hole and a little bit of a predicament. But Keeper Light, just to try and apply pressure to the opposition's tri lane, is going to have to spam off Illuminate, which is going to push out his lane, which is going to be less than optimal for them in terms of getting the farm on the Alchemist and in terms of controlling the lane overall. So the situation doesn't seem that great early on here for Pain, and this is type of lane where, you know, if Ion Shell nets Bulba a couple of CS, which it's already doing, then Liquid are going to be pretty satisfied with this. They don't have to get kills in this kind of lane. They just have to slow down Alchemist from getting his farm because Anti-Mage, like you said before, has that favorable 1v1 on the top lane.
Yeah, and this should be really good for Korok. I mean, you see him right now. He's sitting at 5 CS, 2 CS going for the Nature's Prophet. Korok, a great just CSer and denier as well. So it's going to be really tough up there in that top lane going for Ned. And he's already taking some mana bird damage. You can see not doing too well in terms of his health right now. Korok being pretty aggressive, and that's what he's going to be doing. Down in the bottom lane, like you said, they can spam out that Keeper of the Light, Illuminate there. They're looking for a dual breath on Mino. He's going to go ahead and Windrun away. And he had to skill that up first, actually. And I don't think he wanted to because he realized just how much trouble he might be in if Fluff and IX Mike had gotten to him. So it was a smart skill there, but it doesn't allow him to be very effective early on in this tri lane, and they know that. And pretty much they're out of mana on that Keeper of the Light. He has no clarities. He finally gets level 2 to get Chakra, so now they're going to be able to spam a little bit more. But Fluff and IX Mike, they did throw that ward down there. You can see here on the side, close to that magic bush, not quite on top of it. Bulba's going to be able to get some nice CS right now. They're doing a lot better than Pride is, who's only sitting at 5, and of course Bulba at 10 right now. Meanwhile, 10, of course, going for TC as he's right-clicking away onto Fuzzy. Fuzzy's got 1 point into that healing ward, so he should be okay. He's going to throw it up, not waste his salve. And so far, so good, I think, if you're Liquid. They're kind of not necessarily winning all 3 lanes, but they're pretty close to. So,
yeah, and Fuzzy's doing a really good job middle. I think he got pulled this poor man's shield initially. Someone gave him regen or something, and that really has allowed him to be more aggressive in this lane, not really worry about Queen of Pain's early harass damage as much because poor man's shield is such a valuable laning item. Top lane, Korok's dropping pretty low on health. He's going to man up on Ned.
Yep, meanwhile, in the top lane, Korok was taking a little too much damage, actually. Had to get out of there. I'm glad you said that. I was a little late to the party there. But Korok's going to grab a salve and maybe be aggressive against Ned once more. Meanwhile, down in that bottom lane, looks like Bulba just trying to take some damage in there, or, excuse me, take some CS in the jungle there on that Satyr Hellcaller. Will not do so, or not the Hellcaller, but the Tormentors. The Mind Stealers, I guess they are now. But Korok's going to go back to CSing up in that top lane. So with that salve, he'll be good to go. He's sitting at 15 last hits right now, and he should be good for a quick Battle Fury, assuming everything goes right and they don't really gank him. Now he's going to be aggressive against Ned once more right now. He's not sitting on level 6 just yet. If he had level 6 and had enough mana for that Mana Void, he would have killed him instantly. But unfortunately, not quite there yet, but he's close to level 6, so you have to keep your eyes open for that. TC, he's going to go ahead and grab that top rune, which is double damage, by the way, so Fuzzy will have to be very careful. And that allows, of course, for TC to regen with that bottle. And down to the bottom lane, this lane's actually been pushed out pretty much the entire time through. Bulba has not stopped spamming that Iron Shell, which makes it difficult for the supports for Liquid to get that experience right now. I mean, they're level 3 for IX Mike, Fluff, and 2 for IX Mike, so right now it's kind of the same. Meanwhile, Fuzzy has to... Oh, Scream in Pain. This looks like it will be first blood. TC's going to grab it just barely, but he takes some tower damage. He's going to go down. No, he just barely survives there. Bottling up. He does have that double damage. That's really what facilitated that first blood in that middle lane, so nice job from TC as well to grab that. So, Liquid, they draw blood first, and that gives them a nice little experience advantage as well as gold advantage on top of that.
Yeah, that's a really nice kill for a middle lane. I was talking about how well Fuzzy was doing, but now you can see a large disparity starting to amount. I mean, even if you just look at the last hits graph, I think it kind of epitomizes the fact that Liquid is winning all of the lanes, or Liquid are winning all of their lanes. You can see top 3 farmers are the top 3 people Liquid want to have farm, and then the next closest is half below in that Juggernaut, followed by that Alchemist. And Alchemist is a hero that, even though the lane's been pushed this whole time, of course, I talked about the Illuminating spam potentially coming out. We haven't seen that yet. He hasn't opted to spam the wave. But Alchemist, only at 61 base damage, still has a pretty tough time last hitting under the tower. They have to set them up really well. Otherwise, it could be a toss-up for some of the last hits, in which case, you know, half of them are going to go away for you, half of them you're going to get. And he's only hitting 12 so far with no Grievous Greed in play. So he really is paling in comparison to this Darkseer down here. And you just wonder when this Nature's Prophet is going to try and get involved, because maybe the odd man situation on the bottom line, if they bring in the Nature's Prophet and have 4 versus 3 or 4 versus 2 as we see a rotation out, then maybe that's an opportunity for Pain to pick up a kill and open up some space in the bottom lane for Alchemist to farm better.
You know, I'm surprised that they did that rotation with Fluff and stuff. I'm very surprised they decided to TP him up there in that top lane. You do see Fuzzy's going to, of course, use that regen rune. He's going to bottle that one up there. That's going to allow him to have some nice regen. But you see TC 7 up against Fuzzy, who's level 5 right now. And TC, he wants to use that Sonic Wave, but Fuzzy can just use his Blade Fury at any time here. He's going to throw up his salve. That'll help him regen up. Meanwhile, down in that bottom jungle, Bulba decides he doesn't want them taking his stack with that Acid Spray, so Pride immediately has to back off there, realizing Bulba, even though he has no mana, he's got a Soul Ring, so they have to be very careful. Make it Wit is going to go ahead and just try to... I can't say that name. There's the Unstable Concoction going right now. Bulba might be in some trouble. TP going to come in. Shackle Shot. Not going to latch. Doesn't matter. They will grab that kill. Mina's going to come in with that Windrunner. With that right-click damage, is able to pick up that kill. And that rotation coming out from Fuzzy as well from Ned. Not necessarily needed, as, of course, they have rotated those lanes through. You see Ice Mike is mid right now. So rather interesting for Liquid to do that. And that gives up the first kill of the game for Pain. And Make It Wit is going to go ahead and actually get some experience because of that, as well as some gold, which he desperately needed.
Yeah, that was what I was talking about. I really like the movement from Nature's Prophet, not to mention the fact that he had to get out of that top lane, because we do see Antimage has been joined by Fluff. You talked about Fluff leaving the bottom lane to come up top. It makes this lane impossible for any hero alone to come stand up against Korok, because there is now a hard disable that's going to absolutely rock you. Not to mention the minus armor, but we do see a big Breath of Nature come in and absolutely destroy Fluff. Thinking about TPing on him, but that would be a suicide mission in all likelihood. But nonetheless, the free farm for the side of Liquid is just so strong right now.
Oh, Mino. Oh, nice shackle to get out of there. But TC's got a blink in about 3 seconds. He's going the wrong way, however. Nice juke coming out from Mino there. He's actually alone right now. He will pick up the kill on the Keeper of the Light, who just kind of stumbled in there. Unfortunately for him, he's just like, what's going on over here? Oh, I'm dead. So unfortunate for him. Meanwhile, Nen in that top lane, he's losing a lot of mana quickly. Korok had that mana void. Potentially could have done a lot of damage there. Fluff, however, was pulling, so he's nowhere near. And Fluff is also kind of damaged as well on top of that, so they don't want to do anything too aggressive there. But yeah, TC, he did a counter ward maneuver there, and he was on that high ground where that ward is usually placed, and he said, you know what, forget it. Meanwhile, dive down to that bottom lane. Pride, he's got his Chemical Rage going right now. TC has double damage, however, there's the Shadow Strike. Now the TP rotation coming in, and it looks like Bulba wants this killed really bad. There's going to be the vacuum back in. Nice Shackle Shot will latch him there. Bulba, he's not going to stay down for too long. He's got Surge. He's being blocked in. Pride's still alive. The Shadow Strike ticking off. There's the Wind Run. The Iron Shell and the Alchemist will pick up the kill with the Unstable Concoction. So somehow Pain gets pretty much really... Meanwhile, TC, I don't want to stop here. He's actually got no mana, by the way. He's got double damage. He's doing a lot of damage. There's the Omni Slash. TC in some trouble. He's going to go down, and immediately, Pain turns it around somehow, even though it looked really bad for them. Nice TP rotations, which is what was missing, I think, last time I watched a Pain game, is just that they didn't have the TP rotations necessary. But they were there. They were ready for it. However, this does allow Korok to farm a little bit more, as that lane, like you talked about, is pretty much free at this point.
Yeah, that was a bad play from Bulba and from TC. They need to be on the same page, whether it is commit and get the kill or back up, because they can't have Bulba continues to pursue and then TC backs up. It's just a really lack of having a definitive shot caller who says we're either out or we're in. Instead, they're kind of both a little bit indecisive, and they end up both dropping. And that has been one of the problems with TC. Oh, excuse me, with Liquid, not TC. No individual shots fired. But they just need to have this unifying voice. Someone needs to give the order, and everyone else just needs to listen to it. You can see it in their play style that there's a whole lot of variations in their opinions on what they should do and what they shouldn't do from time to time. But that's something they really should look to work on, especially coming around to the International. It's going to help them play much better as a team. And, I mean, it doesn't actually affect this game in that big of a way, dropping 2 kills, considering the amount of farm they're up, but it definitely could be a bigger concern moving forward.
Absolutely. I mean, and that's, I think, the biggest factor right now for Team Liquid is just they need to really get their play solidified. They need to get that leader aspect going. And Fluff is generally a pretty good leader, but he talked about being a little bit less vocal than he'd like to be at the last International, of course, dealing with the crowd noise and the pressure and all that. And they are America's great hope right now, along with Team Dignitas. So they've got to get it together here. In terms of this game, not to get ahead of ourselves here, I mean, they've got a nice little bit of a 4,000 gold lead. So they're doing pretty well. 1,500 gold or experience lead as well on top of that. So they've got some items. They've got the experience. They've got, of course, I guess really just all 3 heroes they want farming. They did drop some kills there, but it's not going to be enough. I mean, Pride needs a lot more farm really at this point, especially going for the Unstable Concoction and Acid Spray build, not going for that greedy Grievel's Greed build, which would give them a very quick Shadow Blade or something along those lines. But looking at the game right now, it looks pretty good. I mean, Fuzzy using that Omni Slash to grab that kill on TC, and he's going to take some Shadow Strike damage, but in the meantime, he'll pick up his Phase Boots as well. And that top lane, Korok's got like 2,000 gold, almost 2,500 right now, so he can complete his Battle Fury pretty soon, and he's been CSing like a madman. He's got 70 CS at 11 minutes of the game, so he's missed a few, but in terms of just getting farm, he's certainly above and beyond everybody else in this game right now. Whereas if you look at Alchemist, he's only sitting at 28 CS. Bulba's in the jungle right now. He's rotated through. Doesn't have to want to deal with that bottom lane. Fuzzy's going to go ahead and just continue to CS as well. He's sitting at 39, so he's doing all right himself, but Korok just bought his Claymore and his Broadsword together, and that means he only needs 850, I believe, or 875, whatever it is, for the Void Stone for that Perseverance to finish up into that Battle Fury. And that's going to be roughly 2 minutes from now, probably, give or take a minute. So very quick Battle Fury for Korok coming out. And this, like you said, get those 2 items, and suddenly you become a beast. Yeah,
and I'd expect to see some of these supports on Liquid to start stacking up some of those camps for him as well. You can see the Ancients are up to a triple stack. None of the jungle camps are stacked yet, but that's probably because Bulba's in there killing them for farm. because bottom lane has become a little bit treacherous. So it makes sense. If they are able to stack up the Ancients, that should be good enough. It should get him a lot of farm around the 15 to 17 minute mark, and then all of a sudden he's well on his way to that Manta, and Liquid's team fight looks monstrous. Not to mention the fact that TC has had a phenomenal game so far on the Queen of Pain, and he's going to have an item coming out. It's going to be an Oblivion Staff, so he's going to be working towards that Orchid, which a lot of Queen of Pains opt for if they're having success early on, and that's definitely been the case for Quap in terms of his CS and getting a couple of kills. So it's a little bit more of a risky item because you don't have anything to fall back on. If you get chained off a couple of disables, you could easily drop in the middle of a fight. But it is a good choice if you're feeling comfortable in the game, and since they do have this anti-mage doing extremely well, I think it's going to be a choice that pays off pretty effectively as well. You think about the things they can block. They can block the TP out from Nature's Prophet. They can prevent an Omni Slash potentially, or even a Chemical Rage, which would be phenomenal if you could stop that from coming off. It negates a lot of the effectiveness of Alchemist as a whole.
Yeah, I mean, it's just going to be Gank City once that Orc Malevolence does get finished. And they're going to be playing 4-man, if not 5-man, pretty soon. They have that mech up on Bulba, so they're not going to be afraid to push here in just a few moments. Bulba's got, I believe, level 4 Iron Shell. IX Mike's got Micro Power right now. They just need to get that Quap there to maybe just finish things off here, but he's going to wait and try to finish up his item first, I believe. Maybe start roaming soon. That Battle Fury is done for Korok. He has picked it up right now. As you can see, he just went through that side shop, grabbing it down to the bottom lane right now. Pride's going to throw up an Acid Spray. Needs a few TP rotations to help him out here if they want to dive him right now. You do see the TP into the back tower. Chemical Rage is going to go. There's the Magic Missile, as well as, of course, the Wave of Terror, Dual Breath. Now Pride in some trouble. Big swap from Fluff. Oh, bad timing, however. The Ice Path not there. Meanwhile, a lot of damage going to Mech. They'll grab the kill on Fluff first. The Macro Pyre on the ground, doing some damage. Double kill for Fuzzy right now. Bulba's got to get out of there, but TC blows up everybody with a Sonic Wave. But now he's alone, 2 versus 1, trying to do some damage. He wants to make it wait here. TC's going to grab a double kill, and then he'll blink out. Somehow, Pain ends up on the losing side of that fight, losing 4 heroes, potentially 5, if TC keeps going on Mino, which is exactly what he wants to do here. Can blink forward, will do so. Mino trying to juke, looking for a shackle, potentially. Power shot, gonna miss. TC with a huge triple kill, takes care of business. Despite some miscommunication coming out from Liquid, they get the kills, they grab a team wipe, all while Korok is farming over the top jungle, just like he doesn't even care.
Yeah, and that was just cleanup duty from the Queen of Pain, really. She's showing that she's very far ahead, but you're right. Once again, we come back to that point. Miscommunication to start out the fight. That would have been rather seamless. Maybe even Fluff and stuff still surviving had that gone a little bit better, as I got a little bit of lag on my end.
Me
Hopefully
too.
it's not everyone.
That was weird. She like stopped. I was looking at the Queen
it was like
Pain.
moonwalking Quap.
Yes, this
there
is
we go
again. All right, so some Valve lag again. Next says, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, so TC is moonwalking. But middle lane is going to push a little bit here, but that still went well for them, and it's just because they're ahead in so much in terms of farm, by so much in terms of farm, and also because those power shots were horribly off the mark from Mino. I don't even know what he was aiming for. TC is in trouble in middle lane, takes a couple hits, but he'll survive, as he gets the tower kill too, so Fuzzy's not going for the deny. He puts the pressure on TC, and TC doesn't mind.
Yeah, that's what he wanted. He wanted to try to get that kill on TC. He wanted to get the deny, but they popped off the fortification, so they couldn't deny. Meanwhile, now, big gang coming in. They actually pick off, of course, make it win very easily. Fluff, Shackle shot it up. Ice Path gonna just barely catch Mino as he walks back into it, and Fluff's got to get out of there right now. He's low in health, looking for more, actually, looking for a Magic Missile. Mina's gonna take it. IX Mike, there's gonna be the Dual Breath, the slow, the Wind Run gonna go right now, and the Wave of Terror, but the Mana Void's gonna be the killer there, and now Ned getting chased in as Korok is right behind him with Treads. Looks like Ned's in some trouble. Oh, big Ice Path from Mike. Somehow just barely connecting, but Ned now he's going to try to TP out. Not going to happen. Korok says no. Double kill. Going to go for him right now. He's sitting at approximately a net worth of 7,300 as well. And Liquid, they've struggled a little bit in terms of just a little bit of communication errors, but their overall gameplay has been there. I mean, they're just, I think, right now playing better than Pain is, and that's really where it comes down to it. So another few kills going for Korok, and that's just going to facilitate a faster, mid style like we talked about earlier. And now Fuzzy, he's going to get Orchided, as well as, of course, that Sonic Wave's going to go. He's going to try to Blade Fury, and that will keep him alive, but, of course, TC and that Blink and the right click is going to be enough as they get the ownage call coming out. So Liquid now, they're well on their way to this victory, but still a little bit early as they have a 10,000 experience lead. Orchid again, now onto Mino. There's going to be the swap, the Magic Missile. Mino's going to go down. TC with a double kill in the span of about a minute. And so still owning at this point, 10,000 experience and gold lead. And Korok's going to go up top and try to go on Ned, but Korok just breaks the tree down, Mana Void, and kills him like it ain't no thing. So Korok easily picking up another kill there. So now Pain's woes are starting to come into fruition here.
Well, it's not over yet. Alchemist gets picked off in the bottom jungle.
Bulba.
Darkseer and TC combining for that. Bulba's just going to go on whoever he sees. It's that point of the game where TC is so out farming and so out leveling everybody at level 15 on that Queen of Pain that he's going to feel comfortable engaging on almost anybody at all, bar maybe all 5 heroes hidden under one tower or in the well. But TC's had a phenomenal game, and he is also hitting the runes as he has a regen rune up at low health, so that really is going to help him to continue to operate at a high level as he makes his way back in towards the jungle and can definitely try and chain off a couple of kills. Supports are overextending a little bit, try and get some sentries out here, and they get pinged off on, but TC's going to play it cool from now on. And yeah, Liquid as a whole have looked good in this game. They've looked solid, and it's what you expect to see out of them. The little mistakes can be compensated for by the individual skill level, which is so high, and of course they have been winning the farm battle the entire time. And if we look at the net worth, it just shows that this is exactly how you want it to be. You don't mind that your supports are down there, but your top 3 farmers are the top 3 on the net worth chart. That is what you hope for in every single game. Don't get it too often, but in this case, Pain just isn't playing as well as they need to be a real competition for Liquid.
You're absolutely right. And I was just going to say, those chain of kills coming off. I mean, it's not done yet. It looks like Korok's going to run right into Fuzzy. Fuzzy has to Blade Fury away. Korok can't use that Mana Void. He can in just a moment. He's going to blink ahead. And Mana Void's going to come, but a nice Sprout coming in as well. TC's going to try to clean this kill up. There's the Sonic Wave. Oh, long range. Nice kill from TC. Ned is next. That Mana Void is available. Might use that Orchid if necessary. Nope, just going to use the Dagon that he just picked up, by the way. So TC and Korok combining up to get some nice kills there. And, I mean, they just don't even give me a second to breathe when, you know, there's action all over the map. I mean, Bulba down in that bottom jungle is just like, I thought it was over, but you're like, no, they're still going. They're still looking for kills. And like you said, I mean, it's just a lot of that individual skill level, making up for those small mistakes. And with, of course, Korok as farmed as he is, with TC as farmed as he is, they could just kind of play around a little bit, you know, get Dagons on whoever they want to get Dagons on and just kind of take the game to the next level from this point on. I mean, Pride doesn't really have a whole lot. He's got Treads as a Claymore, and that Shadow Blade's a few hundred gold away. Pride's going to get initiated on, by the way, as there's going to be a vacuum potentially, looking for it, and he's going to vacuum back in. Nicely done. Pride's going to take more damage. Trying to use that unstable concoction. Bulba actually might go down. In fact, will do so, and Mino grabs a double kill. But here's Korok. He wants to clean up shop here. He's got that Blade Fury, or Battle Fury, excuse me. Make Your Wit is going to go down. Double kill for Korok. He's going to blink across the tree line. Oh, the tree's being made. Nice play from Ned. Korok, he's got to blink away now. Defensively, of course. Fluff's here with him. And that was a little too aggressive coming out from Bulba as well as Ike's Mike. Bulba, excuse me, bought back into the game, but that was somehow not the best move for them. However, it doesn't really matter as Korok comes up and cleans up anyway, so...
Yeah, and Bulba buys back and comes down for no reason apparently, but that is just another team fight where, you know, you have these 2 blinking heroes that are coming and cleaning up absolutely everything between Queen of Pain and Anti-Mage, and those are the heroes that you want your high concentration on farm on. So if you're trading and they're getting the kills, then keep trading. Who cares? Buy back so you can trade again. Korok tries to find a tower kill middle, can't find it, makes Pride stun himself, and in exchange TC's able to get a tower top. So they're looking like a really controlling team, and we mentioned before, this isn't just any game, really. We're getting closer to the playoffs, and any sequence of losses from a team near the top of the bracket can drop them down into a bad matchup. You'd imagine the 3rd seed and the 2nd seed even are going to have to match up in the first round of the playoffs, probably against Arctic, now known as Denial, or even Typical Mistakes. And those are matchups you want to try and avoid if possible, because those teams, TM not as consistent, can definitely come out with a good showing. Trouble though.
God, Korok just blinked right into a smoke gank, but he doesn't care. He just mana voids Mino, and he's like, all right, let's keep going. Ned barely escapes. There's the blind on Korok. That's going to be annoying. He'll blink ahead in just a moment. Meanwhile, the vacuum going to grab that kill on Ned. Korok's going to get up with that unstable concoction. Mech's going to go. Blink up in 1. There's the Wave of Terror. Blink forward. There he goes. Oh, just 2 hits. Double kill for Korok. There's the Orchid on the Fuzzy. Sonic Wave just barely going to catch him, but Korok grabs a triple kill. He's godlike. This game pretty much over, ladies and gentlemen, and they will call GG right as I say that, so didn't make me look like a fool. It is GG in the end. Nicely played from Liquid. A few mistakes here, there, but didn't really matter in the end. And Pain Brazil, of course, they go down. Rough time here in the ADL, but they just need to find a consistent roster. They've got a lot of stand-ins, and they've been playing okay. I mean, it wasn't too bad of a game for them, but Liquid just, you know, on a whole nother level in terms of just competitive Dota.
Yeah, dare I say, Pain Brazil lasted 12 minutes longer than Dignitas.
Ouch. Whoa, man. Look at that flame.
No. It's a true fact. Come at me. But seriously, they Pain, I don't know. It just didn't look like they really got what they wanted out of the laning phase. It was a defensive lane that just got blown up early, and they could afford to suffer a couple of deaths on the side of Liquid because Anti-Mage got a favorable 1-on-1 matchup, and Korok definitely let it show 9-0. He had impeccable play. The small little mistakes from Liquid didn't really matter in the long run because they got such a good lead on those solo laners that it just transitioned into a smooth victory. So an easy win for Liquid once again. They're mowing through their opponents tonight. If I'm Smeagol, I'm worried. Because I think Smeagol versus Liquid is coming up later tonight, maybe next. I don't know what the schedule is exactly.
It's next. You're absolutely
it's
right.
next. So Liquid on a triple header, and they're on a tear, man.
Yeah, absolutely. They're looking strong, guys. Thanks for joining us tonight. Of course, like we said before, Smeagol versus Team Liquid will be coming up in just a moment. Make sure you check out the American Dota League, which is, of course, AmericanDotaLeague.com. Check out the Twitch page, twitch.tv/American Dota League, and Twitter @American Dota. Make sure you pick up a ticket as well if you really enjoy American Dota. I'm Mont. You can follow me at twitter.com/MontDota2. Give us some critiques in chat if you would like. Give me some shoutouts as well. With me tonight is NY John. You can follow him at twitter.com/NYJohnTV as well as twitch.tv/NYJohnTV. John, anything to add before we head out of here into the next game?
Shout out to a couple guys that have followed me between games. Of course, that's a good opportunity to go ahead and check out me, Mont, and the American Dota League. Every single follow helps support us and helps the organization to be able to have future events, so be sure to do that.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys are a fan of American Dota, definitely follow. And, of course, if you really want to help out, make sure you purchase up those tickets, okay? Because we love American Dota. That's what we're all about. And we'll be bringing you a little bit more of it just in a couple of minutes. So stick around, guys. We'll be right back.